So people are feeling it here. So it's longer than the recording, the original like album recording. We're letting the live audience.
And we're talking about
feel, yeah. Yeah.
Let's start here. How long does it take you to write a song?
I know how long I want it to take me because I'm a freestyle guy. I'm a fast tap, 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 keep it going, keep the energy up, keep it rolling. But I love to co-write with people. I like writing by myself as well, but I like to kind of spread out on the page and then go back and tweak it. That's how I prefer to write. So some of my songs on this album took 45 minutes, and then you go back and tweak them after.
But you bring up a good point, because Heartbeat, it's hard to tell beyond your sentiment about Alex and your relationships, hard to tell what you wrote and what your two co-writers wrote. It's really hard to separate what goes on in the writing room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yet there are things that you brought to it that you know are very personal.
Yeah. Every song that I write from personal experience. I can go into different characters, but songs that I'm writing for my projects, when I go in, like they're gonna have my marrow in it. They're gonna have my life experiences, and I think that's what makes them unique and special and connect with my fans.
So this idea of authenticity, we just worked on a video where every thought, every motivation you had was that it be authentic. And I think it worked.
It's in the stars, the stripes, this dirt on my feet, the weather, my woman, and the way she loves me. It's in the heartbeat, yeah.
You have favorite artists you clearly love, but it's not necessarily that you love the artist. You love a particular song. You hear a particular song, it just hits you a certain way. So do you have to try songs out when you pick a cover?
I'm attracted to ones that made me feel something from the first time I heard them. Seeing Joe Cocker perform Little Help, you know, that right there, I fell in love with that, you know. So I knew that I could put my own spin on it. I just let it happen, and if I like the way that feels and like the way it sounds, we do it.
Well, talking about Little Help, and we'll maybe play it in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that great shout at the end that you're waiting for, and you really milk it. You really wait for a second and just drive it home.
Yeah.
And it seems to fit in your voice.
I almost didn't start covering that song because of that spot. But then I realized you don't have to do it like Joe did it. You can just let your natural thing happen. And I didn't push. I think I backed off a little bit. At first I was pushing too hard on it. But when I backed off of it a little bit, it became natural. There's an authenticity there that resonates with real audiences. For an hour and a half or for 2 hours, however long my set is, it's like a break from reality for me. I don't have to think about whatever's kind of ailing me, and I don't think about that. That's my outlet, and it's like a recharge. Like every day, no matter how tired I am, if we have a show that night, that the crowd gives me energy, and I feed off that energy and push that energy back up. That's the reason I do it. So I have faith that I'm doing exactly what I'm built to do.
Yeah, roller coaster, butterflies, lowest lows or highest highs. Catch a little air on a Jeep ride Friday night. The game you lost, the game you won, the greatest thing you've ever done. Tell me, have you ever really loved someone?
You made this great point about human resting heartbeat being around 60 beats per minute. And that heartbeat works in that tempo of around 120, double.
Mm-hmm.
But it breathes. And it's a natural way to express a little bit of excitement going into the chorus. And for many years we've indulged in this fiction that we have to have a constant click to guide us through a tune and keep the drummer in line. Where clearly that's not true. You have a fabulous drummer with a real radar for a beat and a sense of the band.
Thank you.
That band thing where you're just locked in.
When somebody's amped up, when it's a Saturday night, that's going to be different than a Thursday night. And the show should flow like that. If it's consistently 118, that beats per minute on heartbeat, and it gets up to 121, 122, and then goes back down to 116, the people can feel that, and that's the way my favorite music sounds. It's natural, it's in the heartbeat, and it beats like that, and it ebbs and flows.
Well, I lost my job at the power mill to a man in his machine, but you can't replace these two hands with metal bolts and steam. So here's my plan, brother man, yeah, I'll be just fine, 'cause I got my back, don't got no slack in this good old spirit of mine. It's in the heartbeat.
Can you tell us a little bit about sitting on that rock in Lake Powell?
Oh, man.
Was it uncomfortable? I mean, were you?
No, not at all. I love fly fishing, surfing, being out in it, being out in creation, and feeling the sun on my skin and feeling the dirt in between my toes. So being on that rock for me, being as busy as we are in this career, you know, I'm sitting there and there's a lot of stuff going on around me, but I'm by myself. You know, all the production's going on down below. And what I thought is, when has anybody had the opportunity to sit in that specific place with two 15-inch speakers pointed at them as a playback and be able to play their guitar and sing and hear it echo around the whole canyon? And there's ducks over here and there's there's birds flying by.
It's life.
And I was just like, I'm probably the only person that's ever done this.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I love that. It was a euphoric feeling that I pinch myself every day, some of the things that I get to do and the people that I get to meet. And that's the bigger picture for me. It's not fame or fortune. It's those experiences that I'm constantly striving to find.
That's a great song. That's a great song.